Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Spaghetti Westerns podcast. I'm Tom Betts, your host, and this is season 9, episode number 4, overall number 144. Today we're going to talk about our history of the Spaghetti Western, The Man Who Came to Kill. It's got several other titles you may know it by, but that's the one that I've got it listed under in my database. Who are those guys will be Eugenio Galladino, another one that you don't know the name, but you'll recognize the face. Whatever became of, we're going to talk about Carlos Quinny. Film of the week is Johnny Hamlet. I've got an autograph of the week. No book of the week this week because nothing new has come over in the mail or that I've know of, and I've shown him almost everything else I've got. I do have several posters. We've got CD of the week, and then we'll wrap things up with news of the week. So let's get going and the history of the spaghetti westerns and the man who came to kill. Okay, The Man Who Came to Kill is a 1965 Spanish-Italian co-production directed by Alfonso Balcazar. Story is by Miguel Cuso and Alfonso Balcazar, and the screenplay is by Giovanni Simonelli and Alfonso Balcazar. The cinematography is by Mario Capriati and Stelvio Massi. It's an Eastman color and total scope. Music is by Angelo Francesco Lavagnino, and the song Golden Gun is sung by the Wilder Brothers. Running time is 103 minutes. The main, let's go over the titles. The Spanish title is Doc Manos de Plata, also $10,000 Vivo o Muerto. The Italian title is L'Uomo dalla Pistola d'Oro. A couple of other English titles that you may have heard or read about are Doc Hands of Steel and the Man with the Golden Gun. And that's not to be confused with a James Bond movie. The main cast consists of Doc McGregor or Doc Malvin. He's also picks up the name Larry Kitchener. We'll talk about that in the story part. And he was also referred to as Magic Hand. That was played by Carl Moner. Slade or Slater Carroll is played by Luis Davila. General Pablo Reyes is by the ever-present Fernando Sancho. Norma O'Connor is played by Gloria Milland. Bob O'Connor is played by Loris Lottie. And Mayor Borges is played by Umberto Rajo. One of the other names that you'll recognize in the credits, he plays the bartender, and that is Claudio Scarchilli from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Okay, the story goes Doc McGregor, played by Carl Moner, also known as Magic Hand, is a former physician, gambler, and drunkard. He's fled one town because of a bounty put on his head after he justifiably shot and killed a fellow card player who called him out. The local banker puts a $10,000 bounty on his head. Fleeing town, he comes across the corpse of Larry Kitchener, known as the Man with the Golden Gun. To escape the pursuance of Slade, played by Luis Davila, a well-known bounty hunter, Doc passes himself off as Kitchener. A side note here, Slade doesn't know what Doc looks like. He only knows his name and the bounty on his head. So let me find my place here. Where am I? I'm sorry. The two team up when they both stay at an inn along the trail. Reaching the border town of Baldosas, Doc, now Kitchener, is given a warm welcome. Kitchener, in fact, was sent for to defend the town from the constant harassment of the bandit Pablo Reyes, played by who else? Fernando Sancho. Making the best of a bad situation, Doc/Kitchener starts to play the part of the gunfighter even when Slade begins suspecting his identity and even gets himself hired as a deputy sheriff. The battle rages fiercely and dangerously because Mayor Borges, played by Humberto Rajo, is secretly allied with Reyes, using him to drive off ranchers and farmers so he can take the land and sell it to the coming railroad. Slade enters a partnership with Reyes to trap him. When Reyes is captured, the mayor exposes Kitchener as the doc and blackmails him to continue the swindle, but is soon killed when Reyes is allowed to escape and exposes and kills Mayor Borges. All kinds of twists and turns now come into play. There's the obligatory beating of the hero, a relationship with a local widow and her son. In the end, Reyes and 50 men attack the town, but McGregor and Slade, without ever reloading their pistols, eliminate the gang. Reyes is left to face Doc, and when Reyes shoots little Bob O'Connor, Doc fills the bandit full of lead. McGregor is forced to expose himself as the doctor and surgeon he really is and saves the boy's life. Fighting fiercely and courageously on the same side, which puts Doc in a very different light in the eyes of Slade, who forgets all about collecting the bounty. This is a pretty decent film. I didn't see it for a long time until a few months ago, and it's worth looking up. Talking points, we've seen this basic storyline of mistaken identity appear several times in spaghetti westerns, but mostly in comedies. No less than 4 people contributed to the script, and they all seem to have pushed forward their own ideas. As a result, the narrative is meandering, but some story elements developed better than others. But at least a busy plot will have you guessing what will happen next. Some critics say the two gunslingers coming to town is a reference to Edward Dmytryk's 1969 Warlock with Henry Fonda and Anthony Quinn. Direction by Alfonso Balcazar is well done, and a few critics claim that this is the best effort. It also has a nice score by Angelo Lavagnino, who's really not known for his spaghetti western scores. He did a bunch of them, but they're not very creative, and they don't sound a lot like the spaghetti westerns of Morricone or Nicolai or Damasi. Moner, Davila, and Sancho are excellent in their portrayals, which gives the film an added plus in keeping the tension and twists and turns interesting to the viewer. Davila is the true spaghetti western gun ace and does most of the fancy shooting. Fernando Sancho is at the top of his game. He's a ruthless Mexican bandit who enjoys shooting unarmed people, including women and children. As usual, he does have a few comic lines, though. Check out Doc's escape from Reyes in the barn and his use of a rifle that he never levers the rifle to discharge the spent cartridges, just cocks the hammer. The location of the town is set. The town set is Balcazar's El Spolga city, seen in A Pistol for Ringo and other Balcazar westerns. This is available on video only in the USA, but it's available on YouTube under multiple titles. So go ahead and check it out there. As far as actor profiles are concerned, Doc McGregor, Malvin, Lyric Kitchener, and Magic Hand was played by Karl Mohner. Karl Martin Rudolph Mohner was born in Vienna, Austria on August 11th, 1921. He was a director, writer, composer, film actor, and artist. Karl appeared in more than 60 films between 1949 and 1976. His most famous roles were in the 1955 French heist film Rafifi and as captain of the battleship Bismarck in the film Sink the Bismarck. Mohner retired from filming in 1976. He married Wilma Langhammer, a German painter, in 1978. In 1979, the couple settled down in McAllen, Texas, where Karl died from Parkinson's disease on January 10, 2005. He was 84. Mohner had 2 sons, Gunther and Gernot, also actors from a previous marriage. Mohner appeared in 2 other spaghetti westerns, The Last Gun in 1964 as Guitar with Cameron Mitchell, and 30 Winchesters for El Diablo, also known as The Gold Train, in '65 as Jeff Benson. Slater Carroll was played by Luis Davila. Hector Carmelo Gonzalez Ferrantino was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina on July 15, 1927. He was a theater, film, and TV actor, appearing in 90 films and TV episodes. He died of a heart attack in Buenos Aires on August 21st, 1998, at the age of 71. He appeared in 10 spaghetti westerns. We covered him in greater detail in episode number 125. Pablo Reyes was played by Fernando Sancho. What's a spaghetti western without Fernando Sancho, who we've talked about almost every episode? He was born Fernando Sancho Les in 1916 and died in 1990. He made some 60 plus spaghetti westerns. If you want to know more about him, check out his own special episode, number 61. Mayor Borges was played by Umberto Rajo. Umberto Rajo was born in Bari Puglia, Italy on June 4th, 1922. He was a theater, film, and TV actor, appearing in over 135 film and TV series between 1948 and 1999. He appeared in 12 spaghetti westerns before passing away at the age of 93 in Anzio, Italy on January 16, 2016. We previously covered him in greater depth in episode number 110. Norma O'Connor was played by Gloria Milan. She was born Maria Fie, in Caglia, Sardinia, Italy on October 11, 1940. She was the queen of the early Spanish westerns. She appeared in 35 films from 1959 to 1967. 10 of those were spaghetti westerns, and she played love interest to mother figures. She died in Rome on August 27, 1989, at the age of 49. I don't know what the cause of her death was. We covered her in greater depth in episodes number 6 and 106. Last but not least, we have Bob O'Connor, played by Loris Lottie. Billed here as Loris Doddi, D-O-D-D-I. He was born in Rome on December 3rd, 1957. He's still active, mainly as a voice actor. He appeared in 6 spaghetti westerns, although it seems like more. We covered him previously in episode number 77 and the previous episode number 143. Okay, let's move along to Who Are Those Guys? And Ernesto Galladini. Okay, I said Ernesto Galladini. It's Eugenio Galladini. Eugenio Galladini was born in Rome, Italy in 1897. He was active in the Italian film industry from the 1930s until the early 1970s. During his 40-year-plus career, he appeared in over 110 credited films and most likely dozens more uncredited or unidentified roles. During his career, he was credited under different spellings of his last name and a couple of aliases such as Jim Bathlin, Bathlin, and in quite a few spaghetti westerns as Graham Sooty. By the time the spaghetti western genre became popular, Galladini was entering his senior years and usually showed up in comedy relief roles, barflies, older merchants, undertakers, or just plain old-timers who observed the action. You can add him to the list of other old-timers such as Franco Gula, Joseph Edger, and Franco Pesci. Unlike most of the older actors in many of his 16 spaghetti appearances, he was actually given credited character names and some legitimate, but mostly small parts. He's probably best remembered by spaghetti western fans for his role as Jefferson, the old-timer who is constantly seen observing Gus Kennebec, played by George Martin, and his gang from his rooftop room and his inventive periscope in 1966's A Taste for Killing. He appeared in 16 spaghetti westerns from cameos to character roles. Eugenio passed away in Rome sometime in 1972 at the age of 75, although he looked older. I'll post his complete Western filmography on YouTube once we finished with this episode. But a couple of his other major roles were in Occult Shadow. He plays Buck. And in The Big Gun Down, I showed a picture. He plays the photographer at the wedding. He's also in The Man from Nowhere, where he plays a way station proprietor in 1966. In Tequila Joe in 68, he plays Connors. And The Forgotten Pistolero in 69, he plays Chico. Okay, now let's move along to Whatever Became of Carlos Quinny. Okay, Carlos Quinny has always been a mystery to me, and there's still not a lot of information about him on the internet or in books. Carlos Quinny was one of the Spanish leading men of the early Spanish spaghetti western films. He was also billed as Charles Quinny and Montgomery Hood, Hood. Carlos Alfonso Quinny Lodos, Lodos, was born on June 11th, 1937 in Las Palmas, Canary Islands, Spain. His sister was actress Chelin Quinny, Chelin, who appeared in a few films but mainly acted in the theater. Quinny's career consisted of 16 films between 1967 and 1973. Among those 16 films, 8 were spaghetti westerns, and half of those he played Zorro. His first film experience began with a degree in theatrical direction and where he worked as a director in Las Palmas. This drew him to Madrid, where he appeared in an episode of the 1967 TV series of Studio One. His first film was an uncredited actor in 1968's No le busques tres pies, Don't Look for 3 Feet. The director was Jose Luis Marino, who gave him a part as Sergeant Geronimo Lightcloud in his 1969 film Hell Commandos, starring Guy Madison. This role led to Marino casting Quinny in the starring role of Zorro in his 1969 film La Ultima Aventura del Zorro, Zorro the Conqueror. Carlos then co-starred with Claudia Gravy in Jose Maria Zabalza's western Rebels of Arizona, where he was billed as Montgomery Hood. Carlos then returned to his role of Zorro in 2 Jose Luis Marino westerns, Zorro the Rider of Vengeance and Zorro the Conqueror. In 1970, he co-starred in More Dollars for the McGregors with Peter Lee Lawrence and Melissa Longo, and Bullets Over Dallas, where he was billed as Lawrence Hill. Suddenly in 1973, his career was over, as his last film appearance was in The Hanging Woman, starring Stelvio Rossi, where he played Ivan the Butler. Was his career protected by Jose Luis Marino, or did he decide to leave the industry for some other reason? Most likely he returned to theater direction, and to his credit, he was the first European actor to play both Robin Hood and Zorro characters, and was often called the Spanish Errol Flynn. He was the favorite actor of director Jose Luis Marino, and among his filmography, he plays the classic Outlaws and Heroes of the West, as well as in adventure films where he plays buccaneers and soldiers, even in a few horror films. Carlos was married twice and the father of 3 children. He died in Las Palmas, Canary Islands on May 5, 2007. He was a month shy of turning 70. I'll post his Western filmography when this episode is over. Okay, let's move along now to the film of the week, and it's Johnny Hamlet. Okay, Johnny Hamlet, 67 Italian film production. Italian title is Quella Sporca Storia nel West. Also, another Italian title is Usideri o non Usideri. And the English titles, Django, The Grave Diggers Are Already Waiting. It's got to be a video or a DVD title. To Kill or Not to Kill. Also, the Dirty Story of the West, and my favorite, which was known here in the United States, is The Wild and the Dirty. The director is Enzo G. Castellari. The story is by Sergio Corbucci and is based on Hamlet by William Shakespeare. The screenplay is by Tito Carpi, Francesco Scaramaglia, Enzo Castellari, and Bruno Corbucci. Cinematography is by Angelo Filippini. It's in Technicolor and Technoscope. Music is by Francesco Damasi, and the song Find a Man is sung by Maurizio Groff. Running time is 92 minutes. The main actors are Johnny Hamilton, is played by Chip Corman. Gertrude, the Queen Hamilton, is played by Francois Prevost. Claude or Claudio Hamilton is played by Horst Frank. Horace or Dazio is played by Gilbert Roland. Emily or Evelyn or Ophelia or Betty is played by Gabriella Grimaldi. Santana is played by Manuel Serrano. Ross is played by Ennio Girolami, that's Enzo's brother. Gil or Gild is played by Pedro Sanchez. And also in here you'll recognize the owner of the acting troupe is played by John Bartha. The story goes Johnny Hamilton, played by Chip Corman, comes home from the Civil War where he learns that his father was killed by the bandit Santana, played by Manuel Serrano, and his mother Gertrude, played by Francois Prevost, has married the ambiguous father's brother, Uncle Claude, played by Horst Frank, who would in turn kill the bandit Santana in a duel. But the explanations for his father's death puts Johnny in a suspicious mood. Aided by his friend Horace, played by Gilbert Roland, he manages to avoid ambushes by those who have an interest in not letting him find out the truth. In the tomb of Santana, he finds clues evident that the bandit is still alive. He then discovers the refuge of Santana and finds his uncle there, which in effect is the instigator of the murder of his brother. Johnny manages to turn the uncle and the bandit against each other by telling Santana the existence of $300,000 which has disappeared. However, Johnny is held captive and tied to a cross. While Santana storms the home of Claude, Johnny's mother, who now understands and asks Claude for an explanation, is mortally wounded. However, she finds the strength to drag herself to the place where Johnny is held, and with the help of Horace, frees him and then dies. The two friends roam the country and kill Claude and his henchmen. Okay, this is another Shakespearean play used as the basis for a spaghetti western. That's quite popular in those days. And this one works well on the often seen revenge for a murdered family member. This becomes a murder mystery in part while Johnny tries to find out how, why, and who killed his father. This was originally to be directed by Sergio Corbucci, who wrote the storyline, but Enzo Castellari ended up in the director's chair. I don't know exactly why that happened. Maybe Sergio got a better offer to do another film. An excellent cast of leading actors with Horst Frank and Gilbert Roland as the replacement, older advisors for the always present father figure, give an excellent performance by both of them. The director by Enzo and cinematography by Angelo Filippini also stand out. Enzo told several of us this film is his favorite Western that he directed. Pedro Sanchez is almost unrecognizable without a beard, and he and Ennio Girolami play the menacing thugs and henchmen of Horst Frank. This Santana, often mentioned as the killer of Johnny's father, is almost non-existent for a good part of the film. The audience doesn't really know if he's dead or alive. The crucifixion of our hero was used again by Castellari and Keoma. The use of a cave as a cemetery filled with burning candles and headstones is one of the most memorable locations of the genre. It brings to mind the cave scene in Duck You Sucker, where Juan finds his murdered family. The film also has one of Francesco Damasi's best scores, and Mauricio Graff, who sang Angel Face for Pistol for Ringo, sings the famous Find a Man, the main title song. The only complaints I've heard are the fight scenes. Enzo, being an ex-boxer, fight scenes are almost obligatory in his films, and he's as much a second unit action director as the main director of his films. Uh, the strange looking rock formations you'll see in the beginning of the film were filmed in Cuenca, Castile, La Mancha, Spain. These, if you remember, were prominently seen in the Valley of Guanji. The town sets were filmed in Italy. This is available on Blu-ray only in Germany. It's available on DVD in Germany, Italy, USA, Spain, and Japan, and it's available on YouTube. Okay, for actor profiles, Johnny Hamilton was played by Chip Corman. Corman is an alias used by Andrea Giordana. He's one of the still living stars of the genre. Andrea is the son of director, writer, actor Claudio Gora, whose real name is Emilio Giordana, and actress Martina Berti. Her real name is Elena Maureen Bertolini. He's the brother of actors Carlo Giordana, Marina Giordana, actress author Christina Giordana, and Luca Giordana. All are living except Carlo, who died in 2020 at the age of 75. Andrea was born in Rome on March 27, 1946. He married Fernanda Giordana in 1967 and is the father of actor Lucina Giordana. Andrea appeared in 4 spaghetti westerns and is probably best remembered for his starring role in 1967's The Dirty Outlaws as El Desperado. We covered him previously in episode number 33. Gertrude, the Queen Hamilton, is played by Francois Prévost. Francois Prévost was born in Paris, France on January 13, 1930. She was a journalist, writer, film and television actress, the daughter of writer Marcel Auclair, who was born in 1899, and he died in 1996. 1983. She's also the sister of actor Alain Prévost, who was born in 1930, and he died in 1971, and the author Michel Prévost, born in 27, and died in 1996. Francois appeared in more than 70 international films between 1949 and 1985. Starting from the 1960s, she was active in Italian cinema, starring in leading roles in dramas, comedies, and genre films. She died in Paris on November 30th, 1997, at the age of 67. This is her only spaghetti western. Claude or Claudio Hamilton is played by Horst Frank. Frank was the king of German actors of the genre and usually portrayed convincing, smirking villains, of which he excelled. He was born Horst Bernhard Wilhelm Frank on May 28, 1929, in Lübeck, Schleswig, Holstein, Germany, and he appeared in 11 spaghetti westerns. He was married 3 times and was the father of 2 children. He died in Heidelberg, Baden-Württemberg, Germany, of heart failure at the age of 69 on May 25, 1999. We covered him in his own special episode, number 50. Horace Ordazio was played by Gilbert Roland. Luis Antonio Damaso de Alonso was born on December 11, 1905, in Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. He was an international star who appeared in over 140 films and television series, beginning in silent films in 1923. He was married to the actress Constance Bennett and Julie Romina Cantu. He is the father of sculptor Lorinda Roland and actress Gil Roland. He appeared in 6 spaghetti westerns and passed away on May 15, 1994, at the age of 88. Emily or Evelyn Ophelia / Betty was played by Gabriella Grimaldi. Her real name is Gabriella Boccardo, and she was born in Italy sometime in 1946. She is an assistant director, film actress, and the older sister of actress Delia Boccardo, who was born in 1948. This is her only spaghetti western. And last but not least, we have Santana, played by Manuel Serrano. I just found out information about him this past week when I put this episode together. Manuel Serrano was born Silvestre Manuel Serrano y Jorge in San Juan, Puerto Rico on December 31st, 1919. His family moved to Brooklyn, New York when Manuel was 5. He served in the U.S. Army in World War II and rose to the rank of Staff Sergeant. During the war, he was captured by the Germans in Tunisia in 1942. He escaped in 43 and joined an Italian resistance group. He found his way back to his own outfit in 1944. After the war, he played maracas and drums at a Greenwich Village nightclub. Serrano then began an acting career but only appeared in 17 films and TV series from 1951 to 1972. He appeared in only one other spaghetti western, and that was as Pedro La Muerta in 1968, The Long Days of Violence. Serrano died in Los Angeles, California on December 30th, 1981, a day before turning 62. Okay, let's talk about the CDs of the week. Okay, we've talked about both of the composers before, so the CD or LP for The Man Who Came to Kill was never released on LP. It was released on a CD in 2007 on GDM. On GDM 4111 has 23 tracks, a listing time of 52 minutes and 54 seconds. Its value is anywhere from $5 to $21. Johnny Hamlet by Francesco De Masi was released on an LP in 1968 on CAM number MAG 10.012. It has 19 tracks. Listing time is 34 minutes and 47 seconds. And this is one of the more valuable ones. It's listed anywhere from 115 to 120 bucks. Then it was released on CD in 1995 on a double CD on CAM on CSE 800-124 and CAM 493274-2. Both of these have 33 tracks. Listing time on the first one is 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 10 seconds. The second one has a listing time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 47 seconds. Their value is the same, anywhere from $6 to 23 bucks. And then it was released alone in 2012 on a CD on Beat on CD CR 97 with 27 tracks of music and a listing time of 50 minutes, 10 seconds with a value of $5 for $16. This is the CD for The Man Who Came to Kill. And this is the double CD for which was released with $7 to kill. Okay. Let's move on to Tom's poster vault. Okay, Tom's poster attic. This is the Belgian poster for The Man Who Came to Kill. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. Belgian poster, they're always great. And then the other ones I have to show you are from Johnny Hamlet. This is the Belgian poster here. The cross that he was put on, which appears again in Keoma. Here's the German poster. And then I was in a used bookstore in Fullerton, California back in the 80s, and I stumbled across this poster here. Put it in half here. top of the poster. There's the bottom. And I could tell right away it was a spaghetti western, but I had never heard of that title, The Wild and the Dirty. So I had to go home and research it and found out it was Johnny Hamlet. But that was released here in the States under The Wild and the Dirty. Okay, let's go to the autograph of the week. The autograph of the week I have for you is Chris Howland. Chris was born in 1928 and died in 2013. 1928, died in 2013. He was in Apache Gold in 1963 as Lord Jefferson Tough Tough. He was in Legacy of the Incas in 65 as Don Parmesan, and Blood at Sundown in 66 as William Daniel Colt. So that's Chris Howland. Okay, let's wrap things up here with the weekly news. Okay, weekly news. First thing we have is a new German DVD of Sartana, which is really Blood at Sundown, 1966, directed by Alberto Cardone and starring Anthony Steffen, Johnny Garco, Erica Blanc, released on the Subculture Entertainment Lisa Film Collection number 13 label on February 10th. It's in mono German and Italian languages with German subtitles. Running time is 105 minutes. Extras include an Italian trailer, German trailer, and a reconstructed German theatrical version, featurette of Viva Sartana and a photo gallery. Then we have a new German DVD combo called Trapper, Cowboys und Banditen, which includes the Euro Western Shalico, which came out in '68 and directed by Edward Dmytryk and starring Sean Connery and Brigitte Bardot. This combo has 7 films on 7 discs. It's a DVD collection on PDAX film. It offers German and English languages with a total running time of 11 hours, 19 minutes, and it was released on February 16th. The other films on the combo are all American Westerns. Then there's a new USA double 4K of Kill Them All and Come Back Alone and The Hellbenders, directed by Enzo Castellari and Sergio Corbucci. These films star Chuck Connors, Frank Wolf, Joseph Cotton, and Norma Bengel. First one was released in '68. The second one was released in '67. This is released on the Kino Lorber Studio Classics on February 4th. Contains 2 discs. It's in English with Italian cuts. Extras include audio commentary by Alex Cox, trailers for Kill Them All and Come Back Alone, and The Hellbenders. It's in with English subtitles. Total running time is 4 hours and 51 minutes. Then there's a German DVD release of Tote Ringo Tote, which is Sheriff with the Gold. Came out in '66, directed by Osvaldo Civirani. It stars Louis McJulian, Kathleen Parker, and Jacques Berthier. This was released on January 25th on PDAX. It's in PAL. It's in Region 2 with a resolution of 16.9. It's widescreen with an aspect ratio of 2.35:1. It's in German, Italian, English, and runs 82 minutes. Extras include a photo gallery and an audio play of Einmal ist dran, which is 57 minutes long. The last one that came out is a new Italian Blu-ray release of The Dead Don't Hurt, which came out in 2024, directed by Viggo Mortensen and starring Vicky Krieps, Viggo Mortensen, and Solly McLeod. This was released on January 29th on the Eagle Pictures label. It's in English with Italian subtitles and has a running time of 129 minutes. Okay, we have a couple of rest in peace in Boot Hill. First one is Horst Jansen. Veteran German film, television, and theater actor Horst Janssen died in Grunwald, Munich, Bavaria, Germany on January 28th. He was 89. He was born in Mainz-Kastel, Wiesbaden, Hesse, Germany on October 4th, 1935. Janssen's long and illustrious career included appearances on many well-known TV series and films, showcasing his versatility as an actor. He left his mark on numerous significant productions, including his role as Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. Janssen's dedication to theater was also evident as he performed at the Karl May Festival and was recognized by his enduring passion for acting. Horst appeared in 6 Euro westerns: Rufter Wilsgans in 1961 as Sven Sando, Long Live Your Death in 71 as Sheriff Randall. This is a picture there. Remember, he's strapped up like a robot. Then we have They Call Me Providence in 72 as Sheriff Villaggio. He was in Karl May Spiel Untergang der Geist les Alano Estacado, which was a TV film in 1998 as Old Shatterhand. And he was in Karl May Spiel der Schatz in Silbersea on TV in 2001 as Old Firehand, and was a narrator on the video film Winnetou and the Seven and the Secret of Ghost Canyon in 2007. The two German films could have been from the Karl May Festival, and they broadcast them on TV. And last but not least, we have Fiore di Rienzo. He was an Italian journalist, assistant director, screenwriter, film actor, and RAI television host of Chai Hai Visto. Have you seen it? Died in Rome on January 28th. He was 65. Fiore was the father of the late actor Libero di Rienzo, who died of a heart attack at the age of 44 in 2021. Di Rienzo worked as an actor from 72 until 2004, appearing in 19 films and TV miniseries. His only spaghetti western appearance was in 1984's Arapaho. Okay, that will wrap it up for this episode. I want to say happy birthday to Scott Long. He shares his birthday with both Franco Rossell and the great Maurizio Merli. So until next time, this has been a Roberto Genesi production, and adios, amigos.